Welcome back to Today we will learn about the dramatic developments unfolding in Salem during the week of August 4th to 8th, as explosive family dynamics and deeply buried secrets threaten to tear apart the very fabric of our beloved community. Sami Brady's anticipated return creates massive shockwaves. The return of Sami Brady promises to ignite Salem with unprecedented fury and emotional turmoil that will leave no family untouched. Her homecoming isn't merely a casual visit. It's a calculated mission of maternal protection that will send shockwaves throughout the entire DeMera Brady Black family network. Sources indicate that Sami's rage will reach volcanic proportions when she discovers Belle's role as prosecutor in Johnny's case, combined with the devastating revelation that her sister continues her romantic entanglement with E.J. DeMera despite their complicated history. The timing of Sami's arrival couldn't be more explosive, as she'll undoubtedly confront the uncomfortable reality that her own sister is professionally and personally aligned against her son's interests. The emotional complexity deepens when considering Sami's previous heartbreak upon discovering Belle and EJ together, which originally drove her from Salem in devastating circumstances. Her maternal instincts will clash violently with family loyalty, creating a powder keg of accusations and long-suppressed resentments that threaten to explode across Salem's social landscape. The potential courtroom drama escalates dramatically when considering Sami's unpredictable nature and her history of explosive public revelations. Her threat to expose the intimate relationship between prosecutor and defense attorney could completely derail Johnny's trial proceedings, potentially resulting in mistrial declarations or judicial recusals that would send the entire legal case into chaotic upheaval. Marlena's terrifying queen of the night dreams signals supernatural danger. Marlena Evans finds herself trapped in an increasingly nightmarish spiral of disturbing visions that transport her back to the darkest chapters of her supernatural encounters with Stefano DeMera's mind control manipulations. These aren't ordinary dreams. They're vivid, terrifying experiences that blur the boundaries between past trauma and present reality, leaving Salem's beloved psychiatrist questioning her own sanity and spiritual vulnerability. The Queen of the Night imagery represents far more than mere psychological symbolism. It's a direct connection to Stefano's historical methods of infiltrating Marlena's subconscious through her bedroom wardrobe, which previously served as a supernatural gateway for demonic possession. The dreams feature elaborate details of royal chambers, mysterious figures in flowing robes, and ominous warnings delivered through cryptic messages that seem to predict impending doom for Salem's residents. Susan Banks' increasingly agitated reactions whenever she encounters Marlena provide additional confirmation that supernatural forces are gathering strength around Salem's most vulnerable citizens. Her psychic sensitivity detects malevolent energies that ordinary individuals cannot perceive, creating an atmosphere of mounting dread that permeates every interaction between these two spiritually connected women. The medical community remains baffled by Marlena's request for a soul check, a procedure that exists nowhere in conventional medicine but makes perfect sense in Salem's supernatural landscape. Her desperate attempt to quantify spiritual vulnerability through medical testing demonstrates the profound psychological impact of her recurring nightmares and growing fears about her susceptibility to otherworldly manipulation. Kayla's medical expertise uncovers Phoenix manipulation patterns. Dr. Kayla Brady's extensive experience with Stefano DeMera's mind control techniques positions her as Salem's most qualified expert on recognizing the warning signs of Phoenix manipulation tactics. Her medical background, combined with personal experience watching Steve Johnson struggle with implanted memories and robotic eye implants, provides her with unique insights into the sophisticated methods Stefano employed to control his victims' thoughts and actions. Kayla's growing concern about Marlena's condition stems from her recognition of familiar behavioral patterns that preceded previous supernatural incidents in Salem's tumultuous history. She understands that Stefano's influence transcends death itself, potentially manifesting through residual programming, hidden triggers, or even spiritual manipulation that continues operating long after his physical demise. The complexity of Phoenix technology and psychological conditioning means that Kayla must navigate both medical science and supernatural possibilities when evaluating Marlena's deteriorating mental state. Her approach combines traditional psychiatric assessment with an understanding of Salem's unique supernatural vulnerabilities, creating treatment protocols that acknowledge both psychological and metaphysical threats. Steve Johnson's investigation threatens Stephanie's carefully constructed life. Steve Johnson's investigative work on behalf of Gabby Hernandez creates unexpected complications that could expose Stephanie's most carefully guarded secrets, including her authorship of the provocative novel that has captured Salem's imagination. His methodical approach to uncovering dirt on Philip and Xander Kyriakis inevitably leads him down investigative paths that intersect with his daughter's personal and professional life in potentially devastating ways. The investigation's scope extends beyond simple corporate espionage, delving into personal relationships, financial arrangements, and intimate secrets that various Salem residents have worked desperately to conceal. Steve's detective skills, honed through years of international espionage and local investigations, make him particularly dangerous to anyone attempting to maintain false identities or hidden agendas within Salem's interconnected social network. Stephanie's anxiety reaches critical levels as she realizes that her father's investigation could expose not only her literary activities, but also her mysterious connection to an unnamed ex-boyfriend whose identity remains shrouded in secrecy. The convergence of family loyalty, professional obligations, and personal secrets creates an impossible situation where Stephanie must choose between protecting herself and supporting her father's mission to uncover the truth. Brady's romantic pursuit intensifies amid family crisis. Brady Black's escalating romantic campaign to win Sarah Horton's affections provides a welcome distraction from the mounting pressures surrounding his children's various crises. His strategy involves demonstrating emotional stability, paternal responsibility, and genuine care for Sarah's professional and personal well-being, creating opportunities for intimate moments that could blossom into deeper romantic connection despite their complicated history. The timing of Brady's romantic pursuit coincides perfectly with Xander's increasing distance from Sarah, as their co-parenting arrangements create natural opportunities for Brady to step into a more prominent role in both Sarah's life and her daughter's daily routine. His understanding of single parenthood, combined with his desire to create a stable family environment, makes him an appealing alternative to the chaos that often surrounds Xander's dramatic lifestyle. Brady's concern for both Tate and Rachel demonstrates his capacity for expanded paternal responsibility, suggesting that his romantic interest in Sarah extends beyond mere attraction to encompass genuine family-building aspirations that could provide stability for all the children involved in their complex family dynamics. Legal machinations threaten Salem's delicate balance. Prosecutor Melinda Trask's intervention in Sophia's situation creates additional layers of legal complexity that could have far-reaching consequences for multiple Salem families. Her reputation for aggressive prosecution tactics and unwavering commitment to justice makes her a formidable opponent for anyone attempting to manipulate legal proceedings or conceal important evidence from official investigations. The intersection of medical ethics, legal obligations, and personal relationships creates an explosive situation where Sarah's professional obligations as a physician conflict with her personal desire to protect Brady and Tate from additional emotional trauma. Melinda's warning about maintaining confidentiality carries implicit threats about potential legal consequences for anyone who violates professional boundaries or interferes with ongoing investigations. E.J. DiMera's desperate attempts to recover his memories about the shooting incident demonstrate his growing awareness that his survival depends on identifying his attacker before they strike again. His medical condition complicates his legal strategy, as memory loss could either protect him from difficult questions or leave him vulnerable to additional attacks from unknown enemies who remain at large in Salem's dangerous underworld. The convergence of these multiple storylines promises to create unprecedented drama that will test every relationship, challenge every loyalty, and expose every secret that Salem's residents have worked so desperately to protect from public scrutiny. Next, yesterday's episode was anything but quiet in Salem, as deep emotions, buried guilt, and fragile hopes clashed in a whirlwind of heartfelt confrontations. The lingering tension of Johnny's trial loomed over every interaction, pulling friends and families into its exhausting gravitational force. But as the chaos brewed around them, something unexpected happened. Healing began to flicker in the unlikeliest places. Lunch in the square, Paulina's worry and Chanel's determination. The town square, often a place for light banter and casual lunches, took on a heavy air as Chanel met her mother Paulina for a long overdue break from the courtroom drama. Over salads and sips of lemonade, Paulina admitted her nerves were far from settled. As long as EJ doesn't try to spin this around and make Chanel the scapegoat, she muttered, clutching her purse with white-knuckled anxiety. Chanel, weary but unwavering, reassured her mother that Belle had things under control. "We've come too far to let fear dictate our actions now," she said with calm resolve. But Paulina, always the fierce protector, couldn't shake the worry that her daughter was still a target, even if the accusations weren't overt. Before the tension could swell further, Johnny made a well-timed entrance, looking worn, haunted, and far older than his years. He quickly recounted the wild turns of the day, how Roman was questioned, how Belle had stormed in like a hurricane, and how everyone in the courtroom seemed to be cracking under the pressure. Paulina, to her credit, bit back her protective instincts and stepped aside, sensing her daughter and Johnny needed time to themselves. "I'll be praying," she whispered as she walked away. "For all of us." Tate and Holly. Guilt, forgiveness, and a moment of truth not far from the square. At the Brady Pub, Holly and Tate settled into a booth, both appearing lighter now that the worst seemed to be behind them, but still nursing invisible wounds. Tate, who had been dragged into the legal chaos through no fault of his own, tried to keep the mood light. "Heard Doug took off," he said, raising an eyebrow. "Guess the tension got too much for even him." Holly managed a weak smile. "He's smarter than all of us, probably." Then her voice softened, cracking just slightly. "Tate, I hope you get your money back. You deserve that much." But Tate, never one to prioritize his own needs, brushed it off. "That doesn't matter," he said. "You're what matters." And that's when the truth spilled out. Holly's eyes welled up. "You shouldn't be this nice to me," she confessed. "I'm the reason you're not holding your baby right now. I ruined everything." Tate took a breath, visibly shaken, but unwavering. "No, that's not how I see it," he said gently. "Life brought me here for a reason. And maybe I didn't get what I thought I wanted, but I have what I need. You're okay. And that's all that matters." There was silence. And in that silence, more was said than any apology or justification could convey. Johnny and Chanel. A second chance amid the wreckage across the pub. As if drawn by fate, Johnny and Chanel stepped in. Their entrance caused an immediate ripple, especially when Johnny locked eyes with Tate. The awkwardness was palpable, especially after Johnny's earlier outburst in court. But it was Tate who broke the tension, offering a cool but not hostile nod. "Heard things went all right in court," he said. "Roman's tough. He can handle it." Johnny, a bit surprised by the civility, nodded. "Yeah, Roman's unshakable." Then came the most delicate subject of all, the baby. The room seemed to shrink as Johnny and Tate shared a glance, both mourning a future that would never come to pass. "She's safe," Johnny finally said, "with her new family." "Yeah," Tate agreed, looking down at the table. "That's what matters." Holly, moved by the moment, whispered, "I'm just glad everyone's okay now. That we're here." Johnny and Chanel, perhaps overwhelmed by the emotion in the air, excused themselves and found a table of their own. Their reunion, though still tinged with guilt and hesitation, was genuine. "Tate's been through hell," Johnny muttered. "He doesn't show it, but I can tell," Chanel replied, gently squeezing Johnny's hand. "But you've been through hell too, and I won't stop fighting for you. We'll get through this." Johnny's face softened, and for the first time in days, he allowed himself to smile. "You always know what to say." Chanel leaned in closer. "Why don't we go home?" she whispered. "Let me help you forget this nightmare, even just for a little while." Shadows of the courtroom. Belle's silent burden, though not physically present during these scenes. Belle's presence was a constant echo, felt in every cautious word and fearful glance. The courtroom battle she's waging on Johnny's behalf is more than a legal fight. It's a moral reckoning. Her reputation, her family ties, and her belief in justice hang in the balance. And while Chanel and Johnny try to rebuild their world outside the court's walls, Belle is still inside them, shoulder to shoulder with EJ, whose icy demeanor masks a brewing storm of agendas. What will he do next? Who will he throw under the bus if the case turns against him? Final reflections. Fragile hope and healing in Salem. By the episode's end, the town of Salem felt changed, just slightly. Broken hearts were still beating. Pain was still present. But amidst the sorrow, there was something else. Clarity. Paulina's unwavering protection reminded us that mothers never stop fearing for their children. Tate's grace in the face of loss showed a maturity beyond his years. Holly's honesty cracked open the door for real forgiveness. And Chanel and Johnny's quiet promise to try again, despite everything, offered a glimmer of hope that love, though bruised, still has a place in this world. As the night settled in, one thing was clear. Salem may be scarred, but it still stands. And as long as these characters keep holding each other up, even when everything seems lost, there's still a story worth telling.